AI agents can now run an entire AI film production from a single prompt. Scripts, visuals, sound, generation, start to finish with little to no human input required. But here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Ever since AI started reshaping our industry, I've heard the same phrase over and over and over again. The human in the loop. And I hate that term. Not because it's wrong, but because it doesn't go far enough. It makes us sound like a checkpoint, a cog inside a machine we no longer control. And I think that comes from confusing two very different things. Working with AI and fully automating the creative process. And they are not the same thing. The writer Gerwinder said something I haven't been able to shake. Automate only the skills you're willing to lose. AI doesn't make art. It makes options. A human still decides what gets seen, what gets shared, and what gets remembered. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I built a system of AI agents inside invideo Agent 1 to produce an entire episode of my micro-series, Space Trash. Not a system that made the film for me, a system that acted on my behalf at the speed and scale I could never reach alone. And that's the real opportunity here. Not automation, orchestration. We're not simply in the loop. Humans are the loop. Space Trash began as a single short film. I've since expanded it to a 31-episode micro-series that will be fully distributed later this year. But before I could produce episode 2 with Agent 1, I needed to give the agents everything they would need to understand the world. So I built a crew, one agent at a time, each with a specific job. First was Overwatch, my administrative or context agent. I gave it the series Bible, including descriptions of the characters, season-long arcs, locations, tone, style, and even the full season of scripts. Its job was to turn all of that material into a working context file that every other agent could pull from. Once it processed the Bible, it identified everything that was still missing, gaps in the character sheets, missing locations, and asked me if I wanted to create the incomplete information like location designs and character sheets right there on the spot. But because I wanted to keep this agent clean and administrative, I created other sub-agents that would do the work for me. The next was the character creator. I told it that it was an expert character sheet builder, that it understood all the rules and context for what it should be doing, and that it should ask me for any information that it was lacking. So because I already made Space Trash a short film, I had a character sheet. So I gave it the character sheets I already had and asked it to rebuild each one with height markers and other details that Dance 2.0 needed for consistent generation. If you don't already have a standing character, you can use this agent also to help design and create the character. It worked through all my characters one by one. The agent brought up images for my approval before moving forward with the next one. And by the end of the process, every character in my series had an improved character sheet. While Character Creator was still running, I built Location Creator and put it to work at the same time. The rule was simple. Give it a master shot of a location. If it didn't exist, it would prompt me to create one. Once I approved the master shot, the agent created a 4-panel reference. The master shot, a top view, a side view, and a back view. That gave us a consistent understanding for what the space looked like from every single angle. For this episode, the location had to be built in 2 stages because it changes within the story. CP, my robot character, constructs his home from the ruins of a crashed rocket ship. So I locked 2 separate locations, first the ruins and then the finished build. Each had its own 4-panel reference set. This is the part we're slowing down for. I had 2 agents doing 2 completely different jobs at the same time. Both were pulling from the same shared context file. Both were making decisions the other agents could use immediately. I didn't have to wait for the characters to finish before starting the locations. Every time an agent locked a decision, it automatically updated the shared context. I never had to search for an image or figure out which version had been approved. I could simply tell the next agent to pull up the locked version. The final agent I built was called Cinematography, and this is where the process becomes sequential. Video generation has to happen in sequence because each approved shot informs the next one. I gave the cinematography agent my rules for prompt structure, the style and the feeling that I wanted, and instructions to work within 15-second chunks. I also told it how to pull from the approved character and location sheets already stored in the context file. For each shot, I gave it the section of the script I was producing, along with my specific idea for how the shot or shot sequence would work. The agent then built the prompt as a shot list so that I could review and approve everything before generating. Sometimes it would divide a prompt into 2 separate takes on its own. That usually happened when I packed too much into one prompt or when the shot needed multiple passes. Once I approved the generation, the agent used the output as a reference for the next shot. When I realized I needed an extra shot during the edit, I could go back directly into the correct agent, ask for what I needed, and keep moving on. From start to finish, this system cut the production time in half, or maybe even a third of what it would have taken if I prompted every single shot manually. From there, post-production worked the normal way. I edited in Premiere Pro and upscaled all the final clips to 4K. I added in 11 Labs character voiceovers, then finished the episode with color and sound. These agentic systems are going to keep improving. They'll become more capable, autonomous, and even more convincing. And as that happens, the temptation to hand over more and more of your creative process will continue to grow with them. That isn't a threat, it's simply where this is going. The real question is what you're willing to automate and what you're not. The filmmakers and creative teams who win over the next few years won't be the ones that automate the most. They'll be the ones that understand what needs to be protected. Agent 1 isn't just a generator. It's a production system. It can execute your will at speed and scale that wasn't possible before. So use it. Push it as far as it can go. But just remember where we started. Automate only the skills you're willing to lose. Your vision should not be one of them. If you haven't watched episode 2 of Space Trash, it's linked right up here. And until next time, be well, do good, and make awesome things.